Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're going for a ride and a chat. And one of the things that's really on my mind, because we just had Mother's Day, we're kind of working our ways towards Daddy's Day, and some of us are really big daddy's girls, I will tell you that. But I will tell you, one of the fun parts about this is kind of knowing what your dad taught you. So one of the things that's really kind of on my mind this year is kind of like, what are the little bits of knowledge that your parents kind of gifted to you growing up, kind of those things that they taught you without really teaching you. I just think those are kind of like one of those like, so what are some of the things that your dad taught you that he just did naturally? What were the things that he just did? Now, I know dads teach us lots of things. Sometimes like how to change a tire or how to change your oil. They can teach you how to deal with boys. Sometimes they have some amazing, great energy of like teaching you how to kind of get through life and kind of seeing the ups and the downs in life and kind of getting over those in some amazing ways. So what did your dad teach you? What are those things that you're just like, yes, I'm so glad I learned this? So what are those things that you really wanted to learn from your dad? So really think about it. What are those little nuggets of information that your dad kind of just passed down to you? And sometimes it's just with their energy. My dad always seemed to be calm, cool, and collected outside in public, and then I noticed like always at home he always seemed like stressed or like always thinking about something, like always constantly going on with things. And I think that's kind of the way he kind of lived his life, is that he was always stressed out about things, but I don't think he always wanted to share it with everybody else or didn't know how, or you know, it's one of those like so kind of what he taught me without giving me any words is kind of keep those inner like worried thoughts to yourself. So what are those inner thoughts that your dad did or kind of taught you without really like teaching you something? So like I said, for me, that one was the big one. That one was like the yes. Because a lot of times I think when we overshare or we share things like our inner worries and inner things, it can also bring us to a point where we're expecting other people to validate us from the outside. Or it could be that we're like we share and then they end up picking on us about it or something like that. So a lot of times like just kind of letting things slide off or kind of being worried on the inside is the best way to do it. One of the other things is I always noticed, and not until I was much older, like my dad always seemed to be nervous in public. Now, I will tell you that only a few people could have picked it out because that's just the way he was. He was nervous, kind of like awkward in public, but I guarantee you he hid it so well. If you had told most people that, they would have been like, nah. He really was. He was very awkward in public, and I think it's because he didn't know what to do or how to do something, and so therefore you could pick up like little bitty signs other places. And I think that's one of the things that kind of led him to drink in public at times, because I don't think he would have done it on his own. But sometimes like having a sip of a beer or something like that can kind of take the edge off for us and kind of like make us feel not so crazy in our own energy. So I think that's one of the things that he did, of kind of like, let me just take the edge off a little bit when I'm in public. So he drank a little bit in public, but most people did not really see him drink all that much. I think that's one of those like, interesting ones. So one of the other ones is my dad always, I always thought it was kind of interesting. My dad always loved wearing cowboy boots. He loved wearing cowboy boots. And I think some of it was like, it gave you a little bit of height that make, you know, the way you walked into something, like the shoes that you wear can really kind of give you a lift in your self-confidence. And so he always loved wearing cowboy boots, and I think that's part of it, is just kind of like the energy that they have. And I don't know what it is. If you put on a pair of cowboy boots, you walk differently, you kind of talk differently, you have a self-confidence that you didn't have before. It's just kind of like, I know, weird, huh? So one of the interesting cool parts is that having that energy around you, having that self-confidence in what you're wearing or how you're doing something. My dad was not the type of person to wear like tennis shoes very often, unless he was in shorts. It was very, very rare. A lot of times wearing cowboy boots for him, like I said, was a confidence booster. He loved doing that. And you could always, like, for him, see that energy in what was going on around him, what was going on by, like, what clothes he was wearing for that event or situation. And a lot of times, my dad kind of taught me to overdress in some ways, which is kind of like, really? Usually you would think that would be your mom. Nope. My dad always dressed very nicely, very appropriately, very rarely wore any t-shirts, very rarely wore shorts at all, and very rarely wore tennis shoes. He was usually dressed up nicer than that. I know, it's like, and not that he could be very casual, and he could dress casual, and he could dress down at times, but I guarantee you, when I was a kid, he didn't do it very often. It was really kind of like, okay, kind of energy. He loved kind of that dress up, kind of dress for the occasion, or dress better than the occasion, I guess is the best way to put it. But he always had a very nice dress shirt on. He always wore an undershirt, always. One of the other ones is he always really, like I said, wore cowboy boots. So that kind of, I think, just gives you an air of more dressed up, probably because I grew up around him. But I will guarantee you, your clothes make you feel differently. The clothes that you put on that make you feel comfortable, that make you feel like, yes, I feel confident in this, makes all the difference in the world to him. I know. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.